The traditional path for businesses looking to the global marketplace is to test the product here, then move offshore. But for Melbourne-based internet phone company Feshtel, the first big break was a deal with one of the world's largest and most successful supermarket chains, Tesco. Having conquered the UK, they're now fielding local calls to do a similar deal here.
The one big thing about internet telephony is it's not a local market, it is an international market and has to be looked at that way.
In the competitive world of telcos, Michael Carew and his company Feshtel is playing the game slightly differently. 4 years ago, it developed its own voice-over internet phone service, a technology that's gaining popularity by slashing call costs. Feshtel listed 18 months ago and then surprised its opponents with a deal out of nowhere.
I received a phone call from a partner or associate in the UK who said that we have a supermarket chain who wants to look at selling internet telephony, or VoIP, as a lot of people call it. And I thought, supermarkets and telephone service, I don't quite think it'll work.
He saw them anyway and was impressed by the scale of the business. The two companies signed a deal in December under which Feshtel develops, manufactures and runs the network for all of Tesco's internet phone products.
The simple message that they've created, if you look at a Tesco product for internet telephony or VoIP, in a lot of areas it's techie, it's a VoIP play. For Tesco, it's an internet phone. It's a simple message. Their customers understand it. You can walk in and someone at the checkout will know what the Tesco internet phone is. They have major displays through all their major stores throughout the UK. From that presence, all the money we had in the bank couldn't even buy the store space.
The idea of wholesaling, or as Feshtel calls it, a white label solution, is now at the centre of the company's business model.
Tesco have the ability to go out to the mass market in their own right, and the same with other major retailers globally also can become major telecoms players. And because they already have the customers, their cost of acquisition is low, but they also have a lot of customer loyalty through there as well.
Michael Carew isn't your typical techie CEO. He ran a large plumbing business for many years and is a self-described inventor, with his interest dating back to childhood.
Whenever anything was purchased or I bought something, I was always pull it apart. It could be a watch, it could be a radio, but it was always something that intrigued me in finding out how things worked. What plumbing did was allow me to set the business up, but also understanding the need to put in process, to put in management and those sorts of things, which gave me a great insight into running a business.
He moved into .coms with TradeStore, an online hardware retailer. Then in 2002 decided to bankroll his technical experts to create an internet phone. The experiment led to Feshtel.
The products have to be plug and play. So the consumer can pick up a product, they can plug it in, it mimics their normal telephone system. So for them there shouldn't be any difference.
Feshtel develops the hardware, software and network for its products and has a deal with Giant Binatone to manufacture on its behalf. Its share price has more than tripled since listing and it now has a market cap of around $86 million. Michael Carew holds 13%. Feshtel booked a $6 million loss last financial year as it set up its network, and around half of its costs go to research and development.
We do look at it a little bit like a chess game in one way, that you always need to stay 2 or 3 moves ahead of the market, and what we do is all around keeping that 1 step ahead or 2 steps ahead of other players in the market, but also ahead of the actual technology itself. You'll find that mobile call charges are dropping, Wi-Fi is going to change the mobile market quite dramatically over the next 12-18 months.
3G is great. We can make a phone call over 3G and then over VoIP to any phone in the world.
And now you have 10-cent cap calls around Australia and lowering costs. So if you have a declining retail model, you have to ensure that you create the services and features around that model to allow you to increase revenue in a declining market. 5-year plan, we would love to have somewhere around a half a dozen or more major partners in the white label sense, and it'd be great to have 5 or 6 of the top 10 to 20 retailers in the world.
It's a bold ambition, and Feshtel is currently talking to local retailers about joining the play.
The reason we don't market it here in Australia, even though the quality of the service is a great service, is that we don't want to take away from doing a white label solution in the Australian market as well. So we've tried to play it as low key as we can until we go through and actually negotiate a similar deal to what we've done in the UK market.